Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is resigning as the leader of the ruling party and will stay on as Prime Minister until his party elects a new leader. How will U.S.-Canada relations look under Trump and a new Canadian leader? Joining us now to discuss is Bart Marcois, former Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Energy for Policy and International Affairs. Bart, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you again. Now, the Canadian Conservative Party is amplifying their message that all Liberal lawmakers are tied to Trudeau. A Nanos poll released this week shows that Conservatives have a 20-point advantage over Liberals in voter support, with jobs and economy top of mind. Now, this as Trump is threatening Canada with tariffs. What kind of changes to U.S.-Canada relations, if any, can we expect from Trudeau and his party while Trump is in office?
I think that Trudeau's stepping down will pave the way for a much closer relationship between President Trump and Canada. Prime Minister Trudeau has been a tragedy. He's been a disaster, a catastrophe for Canada. His approval ratings personally are below 20%. And I think I think it's true what the Conservatives say, that the members of his party are tied to him very tightly. When he is finally replaced by a new prime minister, then I think that you'll see very warm relations between Canada and the United States. I think this is the Trump effect taking place, sort of pushing Trudeau out of office just by virtue of having been elected down here in the United States. And I think that his successor will be treated very well by President Trump and will probably respond to that treatment.
Well, in the meantime, we're seeing the leader of Ontario, Canada's most populous province, Doug Ford, pushing back at Trump's comments, saying that the U.S. relies on Ontario for energy to power, quote, 1.5 million homes and businesses. Ford made his own counter-offer, suggesting that Canada could buy Alaska and Minnesota. He also warned that Canada would retaliate hard if Trump follows through with his economic threat. Now, in your view, why is Trump pushing so hard on Canada right now?
You know, I'm not sure why he's focusing on Canada, except I think it was all designed to troll Justin Trudeau and to push him out. I honestly, I don't believe he's serious about making Canada the 51st state. It would suddenly become the biggest or second biggest state in the Union. And Canadian Conservatives would not vote the same way American Conservatives do. I personally would not like to see 40 million new voters voting for members of the House of Representatives and 2 extra senators. I don't think they would vote the way I like. I think Trump's real aim is Greenland. I think he's talking about Canada, but he's really interested in Greenland and, of course, in the Panama Canal.
In terms of Canada and energy, we saw President Biden on day one sever the Keystone XL pipeline. That's the 1,100-mile pipeline between Alberta, Canada, and Steel City, Nebraska, by canceling the company's permit. Now, some experts have said interest in a project like this is currently low, and the pipeline's owner hasn't supported its continuation publicly. What would an XL pipeline do in terms of energy production and trade between the U.S. and Canada if construction continued?
It would be an immediate boost for both countries. It would give Canada the best export market it's ever had. That pipeline would end up hooking in with other pipelines and going all the way down to the Louisiana, the Loop area, the Houston to Louisiana export hub, and make it very easy for Canada to export their oil. It would give the United States a cheap supply, inexpensive supply of gas or of oil, crude oil, and it would bring us closer. I suspect that the owner will probably reevaluate and probably decide to roll the dice and apply for the permit again, knowing that it will be approved, knowing that the construction will go through very quickly. Remember that the Supreme Court overturned Chevron deference, which allowed the administrative state tremendous leeway in creating and enforcing laws like the EPA does, like the FERC, like the Army Corps of Engineers, all of the regulatory agencies that have become so adept at stopping projects like pipelines. Now they no longer have the power they did. So it's not just a matter of getting the federal permit from a new president, it's that the federal government administrative state, the bureaucracy, no longer has that tyrannical power that it did to stop things.
Hmm. So what it sounds like is we're likely to see Trump restore the pipelines permit. Am I hearing that correctly?
I think that's very likely. The only doubt in my mind is whether the owner still has the willingness to go through with it, but I think they will.
Hmm. Very fascinating. Well, Bart Marcois, thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Tiffany.